Good evening, everyone, and welcome to what is the final round of season 16 of the Sunday Night Lights. Of course, it is really season one, but we're carryover champs from Monday Night Lights, reformed and reborn as Sunday Night Lights. And tonight, folks, we've got a spectacular field. We had 6 splits line up for the final race of the season. Strength of field, tick over 4,000 at 4,077. Beaten the next best by over 800. So fantastic night of racing ahead. I'm your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me once again is the chaotic one himself, Corey Steinhauser. Corey, massive night of racing ahead of us tonight.
A very good evening to you here for this finale, Alex, and we are indeed expecting a lot here tonight. We're at the world-famous Monza circuit, and if any of the splits from earlier in this week are anything to go by, we could see a lot of carnage, but we could also see a lot of great 3 and 4 wide racing, especially down that main straight.
Yeah, absolutely there, Corey. Could be massive here tonight, but of course, we are just waiting for quali to end here at the moment, where the guys coming around for the first of the 2 hot laps. Of course, with this new tyre model, it is all about that second hot lap. So with any luck, they'll be going hard at it tonight for that second lap, and we'll see what some of these big names are made of. Number 1 here tonight is Mr. Tim Hendrickson joining us once again for Sunday Night Lights. So it's fantastic to see Tim out there on track. Looking forward to see how he cracks on again tonight, Corey.
Yeah, and he'll definitely be the man to beat, although it seemed that he was struggling a little bit earlier in the week, just so strong as the draft in some places. But I've also noticed that the draft is just not quite strong enough that you can get a move done completely before the end of the straightaway there, Alex.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Sorry for the folks at home. I'm just getting the sound sorted. Apologies. There we go. Hopefully that'll get us sorted. There we go. Apologies for those playing at home. We are back on track now. In fact, quite a bit louder than we were expecting. There we go. Just had a few audio problems there, folks, but we're sorted now. Sorry for those at home. Just on board at the moment with Seb Schultz, the car number 3 out there tonight, and I might actually grab our quality standings while we wait. No, they've only done their outlaps at this stage, Corey. We would expect to see the real quick guys around here tonight ducking down into the low 2:16s, 2 minutes 16 on their hot lap, but yet to get around for the first one here tonight yet, Corey.
Yeah, and from what I've seen so far, Alex, everyone has taken this first lap fairly gingerly, which is what we've come to expect with the edit of the tyre model here for qualifying, because you do have to be so very careful with these tyres in quali. One slip up whatsoever, and that is your night done as far as quali is concerned, Alex.
Yeah, 100%. Of course, changes coming to the tyre model at the end of this week. iRacing announcing they're making major changes to the Skippy, of course. We've lived with it all this season, and our pain is coming to an end, and hopefully some of the big names that we've been missing are going to come back and join us once again. Just going to take a break for a minute from the quali standings as we take a look at the overall standings. Really interesting finish to the season. This race tonight here represents, Corey. We've got Sammy J leading the Toycala leading the standings, just 4 points ahead of a joint vanguard of Team Vascalampi and Sasha Gourlay. Håkon Grebstead and Anthony Catt rounding out the top 5. Leading ANZ driver, of course, in P7 is Greg Barber, who, unless I'm mistaken, is out on track here tonight. Yes, he is. Now, what this does mean, though, there's a complicated mix of points because we have had drop rounds come into play, and I can tell you the top 3 can all win it tonight. A combination of Sammy J outside the top 5 and Vascalampi winning and getting pole, and Gourlay just finishing somewhere within 4th or better, and Sammy out of the top 5 gives him the championship. So it's a complicated mix, Corey, but any one of these top 3 can win it here tonight.
And it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how things will unfold in this race. As far as the championship battle goes, Alex, currently we do have Sammy J sitting on pole with a 2:16.610, but that was just from the first lap of the 2. So we're still going to be eagerly waiting to see what the true representation of the lap times is going to be here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, 16.6 on your opening lap is fairly flying too. So he might even get into the 15s, which would be a fantastic effort. Actually, I'm thinking maybe it'll be low 15s, and I've got my timings wrong. I haven't done a race here today. I've done plenty here this week, but I've forgotten. I think it'll be low to mid 15s that'll get you pole rather than 16s, but still, 2:16.6 on your out lap, on your first flying lap is quite amazing. So fantastic pace there from Sammy J. Toyakala, which is what we have come to expect. Greg Barber now, who's sitting in P5 provisionally as he comes around to close out the second of his 2 qualifying laps. On board was Sammy J once again. Hendrickson just behind him on the track. Sammy J's going to set his time first, and then we might see how the others come in behind him. I'll get the quality compare going here. Sammy against Sammy at the moment as he comes to close out his first lap. Expected to be in the 15s, 15.8. Fantastic time from him and jumps up to pole. Hendrickson has beaten him though by 2.5 tenths. What can Greg Barber do as we see him come up to finish out his lap? 2:16 dead. He's been beaten by Snell, who becomes the leading driver for ANZ. Mitchell McLeod, the Team Talk racer, has joined us here, and he's up in P6. Looks like a bit of a vanguard of Aussie drivers up in the top end of this field here tonight, Corey.
And that's what we like to see, Alex. Some of these Aussie guys trying to get up there and mix it up with these internationals. Mitchell McLeod, actually the winner of the previous race here this hour, like the warm up to the top split race here. But one thing I've noticed, Alex, is that we're actually lacking Sasha Gourlay from the driver listings.
Whoa, that's a big news story. Let's go check out our grid here tonight for the final round of Sunday Night Lights for this season. Tim Hendrickson from Team Torpedo, 2:15.6 taking out our pole. Sammy J. Toyakala, current season leader in P2. Team of Escalampy, without having taken the pole, can only match him. Those two fighting out for the season honours. Ben Snell for VDR Team Milo, leading ANZ driver in P4. Greg Barber, second ANZ driver in P5. Mitchell McLeod from Talk Inc., he's in P6. Seb Schultz in P7. Anthony Catt, one of our every race regulars this season in P8. P9, Russell Clark, great quality for him, representing Team Milo. P10, Julian O'Fray, of course, part of that fantastic race last week in P10. P11, Daniel Casas. P12, Fran Novo Aeneas, both from Iberia. P13, Håkon Grebstedt from Team Ovaltine. He'll be fighting his way through the field from there. P14, Cristobal Otero Roman, representing across Simart Competition, another of our regular Iberians. P15, Chinmay Christo Punukolu. Damn it, I thought I'd get it right this time. P16, Kevin Anderson, regular of the series, of course. P17, Toshimasa Hanado, who failed to set a time, as did Pep Meyer in P18. Strength of field, as we said, 4,077, all-important track temp, 29 degrees. So interesting to see how they go tonight. Perhaps not as quick as we might expect out there tonight, Corey, but only time will tell. It's about 15 seconds before the green flag drops. We're just waiting for Ben Snell to come on grid, and he has done so now. We see the guys rev their engines because the red lights mean rev and the green lights mean goes. We are away at Monza for the final round of Sunday Night Lights. Shooting over to the inside is Vascalampi, looking to get an inside run into turn 1 for the first of 11 times around here as Sammy J now moves up to the inside of Hendrickson. Toyakala now looking to make the running of it early. The top 3 cars get through okay. What about the rest of them? Bit of bumping and grinding. The 8 car goes around. Anthony Catt is around, as is Grebstad, the 9 car. He's gone around and will not be happy with that start to the race, Corey.
No, indeed not. And Håkon has been having such wretched luck lately. It's really bad to see him spin out. But the one good thing about Monza is that as soon as you can get yourself caught back up to a few cars, it is easy to try and claw some positions back there, Alex.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what now, it is going to be more of a challenge for the rest of the field as we see one, Sammy J. Toykala has made a break for it early and he's already out to a 1.1 second gap. And I see Hendrickson in second now, and he is sporting some rear wing damage, Corey, which has been the flavour of this week for Hendrickson. Unfortunately, I've raced with him a couple of times this week. Both races. Oh, as we got one off in the background, I think it's Henderson. Henderson's around out to the exit of the second Lesmo, and that's put an end to his competitive night, although he looks undamaged. A spectacular way. He's no doubt clipped the edge of the grass there, the left-hand rear tyre sending him round. But as I was saying, Hendrickson with a bent rear wing already, he'll be down on top speed. And as one of the quickest, if not the quickest guy in this field, he was the one they were all hoping to hang on to Sammy J. Now he's back within draft, he's 6/10 behind, but it's doubtful whether or not he'll have the pace now with that damage to drive away in this one, Corey.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing, Alex, is that this track, even though it's only got about 3 places where you can, or 4 places where you can get that decent amount of draft going, that draft can be so very important. And that little bit of wing damage, that could prevent him from making a race-winning pass, especially coming to the latter laps. And as we see him dive to the outside now of Sammy J. Toykala on the front straight, as you can see, that wing damage is not affecting him too much at the moment. Sammy J looks like he might have gotten out of it just to let him go so he could have a turn of draft. But in the later laps, when Sammy J is not going to be so cordial with the letting of him go, that is really going to affect him trying to make a pass, Alex.
Big accident there between the two Aussies. We've got Barber and it was Snell, I think, coming together. I'm just going to go back and grab that on replay. They didn't look like they had it quite sorted into the first chicane. Barber going very deep. Look at the rear trying to let go. Snell tucks in behind. And then what happens from here? We've seen they've got the inside apex. Slow run out for Barber, and Snell's got into the rear, the right rear. The two Aussies who were right up there in with a shot have come together, and all our local hopes dashed in the space of a couple of corners there, Corey.
Yeah, unfortunately, that has definitely given us a big shot for the Aussie contingent. It looks like Mitchell McLeod is also in the pits there, Alex. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but he was our third-rated Aussie in that group as well. That's unfortunate for Mitchell. As I said, the winner of the previous race here tonight, and he's parked up in the pits, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. I just caught him now. I'm wondering if he was caught up in that too, although he seemed to get through okay. As we see the guys running out the back straight now into Scari for the second time. Which reminds me, let's get a bit of a status update on the Christmas tree there. Yeah, we see McLeod. Looks like he's at least in the pits, even if he hasn't let it go for the night. I see the pit timer ticking along. As the guys up the front now, we've got Hendrickson and Toykala. They have cleared out. They are now 3 seconds clear of a hard-charging Sebastian Schultz and Timo Vascalampi. I'll tell you what, these two have just got to play nice. And Sammy J. Toykala walks away with the maiden Sunday Night Lights Championship. Whether it be a win or a second step on the podium, I'm not sure he minds at this stage. But the two of them seem to be working well together, just leapfrogging down the main straight. Sammy J. potentially lifting on the way down into the first chicane, although he's coming back at him now to have a look. No, just tucking in behind once again. That second pack now led by Timo Vascalampi with Sebastian Schultz now tucking in behind. We've got Cristobal Otero Roman. He has ducked in there with Ben Snell, who's just sporting a little bit of damage, unsurprisingly, from that incident. He's got a rear damage and missing the tip of his nose cone there. What a tragedy that was for the local Chargers, but still in the hunt for the points there, Corey.
Yeah, I just had a little look at the replay, Alex, and I got an update about what happened to Mitchell. He actually got a little bit of netcode contact off of Ben after Ben re-entered onto the track. So that's what happened to Mitchell there. But we see Ben still right up in the mix, sitting up in the 6th position. He might not have the necessary front aero for the turn-in. It looks like he's definitely holding on to the draft, which is keeping his speed up and keeping him there or thereabouts. As for the two leaders, Hendrickson and Toykala, it looks like these guys, they're very experienced Skippy drivers, Alex. They know what to do and they know what they got to do to try and maintain this lead. But it looks like Sammy J is actually letting Hendrickson pull away here a little bit, Alex.
Yeah, it's about 7/10 now. It was 7.5 before this straight on the approach into Ascari now. This very fast third gear chicane. Once you apex that first left-hander, you're flat and hitting fourth by the time, or just before you're hitting that second apex. The third apex, the second left-hander, and very fast section of the track indeed as they come down this penultimate straight into the parabolic, and now braking around the 50 marker. Turning in as we see Hendrickson leading through despite that rear wing damage and side pod damage by the looks of it as well. Vascalampi now only managing to gain half a tenth up that straight, but let's see if we can't watch him close up through this straight here as he grabs fifth gear well before the start finish line, although he's just sort of not bothering with the draft, to be honest with you. I'm wondering if he's figuring that that Hendrickson might have the pace to keep drawing them away, and he just doesn't want to pressure him. Although that damage, that rear wing damage there, might be keeping him in two minds, to be honest, as they... Ooh, that's a big bit of the apex curbing there, and that's about as much as you can take there without a slowdown, folks, for those of you watching at home. Expertly done by Toy Carla there. I'll tell you what, that's a mouthful there. Nearly got myself caught in a tongue twister, Corey.
Yeah, Alex, and I know personally from being on stream that you can take too much curb there. Got a few slowdowns that you actually witnessed yourself. You can take a lot more curb there than what you used to be able to, but there's still a certain amount where if you go over that bit of the curb, you will get pinged for it. And it looks like
in the
Toykala.
background, we lost in the background there. It was the pink car that is off to the side. I'm just trying to think. It was Pep Meyer. Let's go back and have a look what happened to Pep there. As he was coming through the second chicane, he's braked well in there. He's turned in. He's probably carrying a little bit extra speed. The rear of the car let go with that extra bit of speed there, and he's just missed the 17 car there of Daniel Casas, who's got away with one there, but just... Perhaps because he was strongly in the draft there, just not accounting for the extra speed, and the rear of the car went in between the two apexes of that second chicane there, Corey.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing about skippies is that if you carry just that little bit too much brake, especially while turning, then it can send your car absolutely spinning out of orbit. As we see Toy Carla now making an outside move around Hendrickson there as they head into the parabolica. It looks like these guys are going to continue with their leapfrogging ways. I think Toy Carla might have just been seeing where Hendrickson's speed may have lied. So see if he could get an advantage anywhere and whether it was worth trying to overtake him. As we see Toy Carla now pulling back to the inside of the track to let Hendrickson go around the outside as they head to that first chicane now, Alex.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're working well together, but I'm not sure that it's helping them as much as you might think, because I could have sworn they had a 3-second lead at one point. It's now down to a 1.7-second lead as you've got Roman now leading him through the first chicane now with Vascalampi hot on his heels and plenty of pace behind him and Sebastian Schultz as well. Can I tell you, the top 5 drivers in the overall standings, minus Sasha Goulet, who of course has missed his chance to taking the Sunday Night Lights title race out here tonight, are all here tonight and all part of our regular Sunday Night Lights experience. So this is the place to be, folks, where you get your best racing each and every week, and if you want a shot at the title, it's also the race you want to be in each and every week that these guys have shown throughout the season. But what we are seeing now, Vascalampi then, who leapfrogged Roman through that second section on the approach to the second chicane there as they go through Lesmo 1 there, has closed the gap even further. It's down to 1.4 seconds. We've got a race on our hands, Corey. We're not even halfway through the race, and these guys have bridged at least half of that gap after that opening lap incident.
I think that could be boiled down to the damage that Tim Hendrickson actually has on his car, Alex. Because as we said, this is a fairly aero-dominant track. And with him having that little bit of aero damage and being in the lead mostly, that could be affecting their top end speed there. Even with the draft that they're getting off each other, with the leapfrogging, it just could be affecting them that little bit. That's bringing the rest of the skies to them. But also, in an oval standpoint, 4 cars in a draft is much stronger than 2 in the draft. So that could be another reason why this second pack is catching up to these guys now, Alex.
Yeah, as long as they're playing nicely, which they seem to be doing now. I think they realise that their only chance to get back on is they're now just down to the 1.4 seconds out of that is to play nice, at least for the first part of the race. Because I tell you, the championship's still on the line here, because if Vascalampi finishes first, have we just lost Hendrickson? I think we've just lost Hendrickson out of this race as well. I don't know whether that was net code or if he's just lost connection to the server, but yes, Hendrickson has dropped off the leaderboard now, and it's a solo. Oh no, he's back. The marvels of the internet. Look at that. He's jumped out of the pits and back into the leading contention. But we are down to 1.2 seconds now for Otero Roman, representing across Simart Competition, of course, on the front end of Vascalampi. But as I was about to say, Corey, if Vascalampi gets to the front of this field as he chases the draft once again and tries to leapfrog before the second chicane there, Roman cleverly and intelligently, I should say, lifting off to let him back in as they get it back down to about 1.4 seconds now, depending on the drive they get out. But if Vascalampi wins this and Toykala's out of the top 5, we'll have joint finish champions. What will this race bring for us here tonight, Corey?
Well, see, that's what we've got to wait and see, Alex. We've still got 5.5 laps left. And if Hendrickson keeps playing with the alternate universes that he seems to be trying to get into an advantage, we could very well see Timu coming up and challenging Toykala for the lead and for the joint win in the championship overall. And I seen him run a little bit wide there in the second chicane. It got me a little bit worried, but it looked like Romain definitely just held back on the exit of that second chicane just to allow Vascalampi to get back ahead without too much troubles there, Alex.
100% there, Corey. You know what, though? The last lap, Vascalampi was about half a second quicker than the leading Sammy J. Toykala. Now, he has, in fact, only gained about a 10th this lap. So the guy's not quite as efficient this lap, or perhaps Toykala and Hendrickson have figured out that the guys behind are starting to catch them, because it is getting pretty tight still, though. 1.2 seconds now. So only time will tell as we see the leaders now side by side down the front stretch. And as you say, perhaps that oval draft effect really helping out the chasing pack, along with the high race IQ, as the team torpedo driver, Tim Hendrickson, could not get any closer unless he got out and pushed Toykala down to the braking zone for, the first chicane. And now we're down to just 1.1 seconds is the gap. And that's what it looks like, folks, as we hop on board with Cristobal Otero Roman. He is now, well, he didn't get the run out of that first chicane that he wanted, because he dropped to now 3/10 as he's out to 1.4 seconds now. And I don't think Vascalampi got the run out there, so he will not be leapfrogging, and this is costing them time, Corey.
Yeah, the reason that they couldn't leapfrog there, Alex, is because on the exit of the first chicane, Vascalampi carried a little bit too much speed and went for a little trip through the gravel. That is why Romain couldn't close up the gap a little bit, and why Vascalampi couldn't get the leapfrog going. But also, it seems that Hendrickson and Toykala now getting themselves sorted out a little bit better to get their draft to run, as Romain in third there just ran wide on the exit of the second Lesmo. It's definitely starting to heat up a little bit here, Alex. We've only got about 5 laps, or 5.25 laps to go, and it's definitely going to start getting very interesting very soon.
Yeah, absolutely is. The guys here really, in this second pack, really need to sort themselves out. That was a costly lap that time, although Vascalampi's had a beautiful run through Ascari, and he's got all that time back. They're now 1.1, and I tell you what, I reckon Vascalampi will have a sniff here of draft at least. He's got 1.1 seconds. Oh, it's back out to 1.3. I tell you what. Oh, I'm on the edge of my seat just seeing if he can get back on, because as they cross the line this time, there'll be 4 laps to go. and he's now 1.2, which is just ever so close to that magic draft line, and whether or not we get a pack of 6 to finish this race. Just jumping back a little bit, we've got Julian O'Fray, who's about 3.5 seconds off P6, the tailing end of those leading drivers there, followed by Toshimasa Hanada, who's now in a bevy of cars here, all split by about half a second there, with Russell Clark, Daniel Cassis, and just behind them, about a second behind, is Fran Nova Anaeus and Chinmay Christo Punukolu. I'll get it right eventually. Håkon Grebstad not making the charge for the field that we might have expected. In fact, he's right now he's where he started, down in P13. Pep Meyer in the flashy pink car is making a recovery drive, having not pitted, and I rightly called he didn't quite have any damage, so he was okay. Kevin Henderson, who had the early spin as well, making his running all the way down in P15. Greg Barber in 16th. 17 for Anthony Catt. Mitchell McLeod, our only retirement, as those final 3 have been through the pits. As we jump back up the front, 1 second gap now between Toikala in second and Vascalampi in third. So the draft is well and truly in play. The question is, with the draft, will Vascalampi be able to drop the trailing cars who are just half a second behind? And I tell you what, I feel like, yes, that gap is now under half a second as we hop on board with Vascalampi now. That is what a 1 second gap looks like, as in front they go side by side. I think it's on. The sheep stations are coming on, or is that was a gentle late leapfrog? There we go. That's Hendrickson running wide there through Ascari there, and that has brought Vascalampi right into play now, Corey.
And what's worse for Hendrickson there is that he had a terrible run on the exit of Ascari as well, and that has allowed Vascalampi to take second place. But the person that this is going to affect the most is Toikala, because now he doesn't have a draft partner, and he has still got these guys behind him within the draft range as they head through Parabolica and onto the main straight now, Alex.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to have a draft partner soon. In fact, he's going to have about 4 of them, because Vascalampi now 8 tenths behind, with Hendrickson, who has, as with that poor run through Ascari, has ended up back in third position. Roman and Sebastian Schultz now tucked in to round out this top 5. Ben Snell, as we can see him languishing, some 2.5 seconds off the back of this pack. His competitive race seemingly done with, as the deck is shuffled once again through the first chicane. We see Hendrickson make a clean pass on Vascalampi now. They are some 8 tenths, is it? No, just the 4, I beg your pardon, with Roman, and it is well and truly on again. Top 5 now, with a chance of winning this race, with just coming up just over 2.5 laps to go, Corey.
And now it's going to really start getting interesting, Alex, as we see Hendrickson head back to the lead in front of Toikala before the second chicane. I did notice on the previous lap that Sebastian Schultz had actually taken over from Romain and Vascalampi, and they turned it into a 3-car leapfrog as they went through the Lesmos. And then with Hendrickson making that mistake, this has just brought all these guys into the battle. We've only got 2.5 laps left, not even. This is going to be turning up like you would not believe, but unfortunately, Ben Snell, the damage is just too great. He is dropping like a stone, and it looks like he's going to be in the clutches of Julian Alfrey very soon there, Alex.
Absolutely. Can I tell you, the move's just been made again. Toikala, who went up the inside on the approach to Ascari, leapfrogging very late on that straight. And to me, can I tell you, I think that's what brought Hendrickson unstuck last lap. I really thought that late move, and then Hendrickson really got the poor run through Ascari, and I just wonder if that late leapfrog by Toikala has brought us, well, thankfully, into this massive race. 3 wide now on the approach to Parabolica. Toikala now deciding that he wants to lead. We've got 2 laps to go when they exit this corner and cross the line. And these guys, look at them all spraying everywhere. Everyone jockeying for position. I'll tell you what, our 2 series leaders now, Toikala and Vascalampi, they're going to fight it out. We're going to have 3 wide, maybe 4. Can they make it 5 wide as they approach the first chicane now on the penultimate lap? It's 4 at least. 3 as they enter the braking zone now. Look at it, 3 wide. It's Roman coming to the lead up the inside. 2 by 2 they go, Noah's Ark style. Can they make it work? Vascalampi and Toikala shuffled back as we see Hendrickson and Roman take the lead of this race, Corey.
And Toikala is doing exactly what he needs to do, Alex, and that is stay in front of Vascalampi. These guys almost 5 wide. The guys on the very inside of the track there do have to be a little bit worried, Alex, because if they come back onto the track and cause an accident, that could mean very bad things for them. Racing-wise, that can be worth a suspension if you come on track in that off-track area as defined by the white line. But these guys are so absolutely skilled. You saw they all filed back to 2 by 2 and now single file without even missing a beat there, Alex, and it's just going to be absolutely fantastic to see what they do in this next lap and a half.
Yeah, absolutely right there, because now the deck has been shuffled once again. Toikala, he just needs to finish in this top 5 to take out his maiden Sunday Night Lights Championship. We see Vascalampi tucked in behind him in P4. He needs to win it just to tie. These guys separated by about 4 points. Once you take drop rounds into account, Vascalampi needed the pole and the win to take out the championship. But if he gets the win and Toikala's outside of the top 5, which looks unlikely at this stage, he does in fact tie and we have joint finish champions. But for now, folks, as we come on the run down to the Parabolica for the penultimate time, we see Hendrickson make the move up the inside of Roman into the Parabolica. Now we see Toikala in P3, Vascalampi behind him. Nose to tail they go. That damage seemingly not hurting Hendrickson too much as he crosses through the mid stages of that sweeping right-hander. Third gear into fourth on the mid to late stages of that corner, and in draft, as we saw earlier, an early grab of fifth gear. Now what will this lap bring, Corey? We got 2 wide already as Roman decides he wants to lead this. Toikala with the mega draft. Will he come from third to first? Let's see what happens. They've gone line astern there. Will they fan out? Now it's Hendrickson, Toikala, a team of Vascalampi looking for anywhere he can to get a position made there. Goes to the outside now of Toikala. They're side by side. Bit of contact there between Roman and Hendrickson, but they've gone Noah's Ark once again. This time Vascalampi coming out ahead of Toikala, but they are still side by side. It's very much like last week's race at Barber Motorsports Park, but we've got 5 cars instead of 3 for this final lap. What can these guys do? Vascalampi now tucking in behind Toikala, trying to get a bit of a sniffer draft. Toikala taking, they're going to go 3 wide into the final chicane, into the second chicane, I should say. Can they get it done? These fantastic drivers here. Toikala breaking the latest on the inside line. Can he hold it throughout, though? Yes, he can. He's got a poor run out, though. Roman coming back at him into the Lesbos. Now 3 wide into the first Lesbo. No, only 2 as Roman takes the lead. 2 wide between Hendrickson and Toikala now. They're still racing for sheep stations here in the latter stages of this final lap, Corey.
And this just goes to show what this race means to these drivers, Alex, as we see Toikala now shuffled back to third behind Hendrickson. What can they do as they come down this second to last straightaway, heading towards Ascari chicane? They're almost going to be 3 wide there for third, as we see now Vascalampi trying to make a move around the outside of Hendrickson as they head into Ascari. And it looks like Hendrickson fighting back on the inside, braking very late. But it looks like that's going to compromise his line a little bit, going a little bit too shallow into that final section of the Ascari chicane.
Oh,
and there's a little bit of contact there between Vascalampi and the back of Hendrickson. Toikala now with the advantage on the left, going around the outside of Vascalampi. He's got the draft of Romain there on the outside line. Looks like Romain now trying to go down low to try and block a little bit. And there's contact again, Sammy J. And that has taken out Hendrickson as well, the number 1 plated car.
Oh, he's come back and he's hit Vascalampi. Oh, Sammy J. Oh, that's tragedy. Tragedy. 2, 3 cars taken out there by a wandering Sammy J. Toikala. Julian O'Fray now. Where's he come from? No, he wasn't there. Yes, he is. He's come up to grab third. Sebastian Schultz has taken it out after sitting patiently on the back there. Perhaps that's what... I'll tell you what, Corey, we're going to have to have another look at that for sure as we see Ben Snell finish in the top 5. Roman tragically robbed of what would have been his first Sunday Night Lights victory. Corey, let's go back and have a look at that one. That was insane to say the least.
Well, Alex, first and foremost, I just hope you got a hold of your heart pills, mate, because that was exciting. What a way to end out this season with that battle there going to the line.
Now I'm just going to grab Toy Carl. He's taken the big dive where there was no gap. He's hit the rear of Roman and sent him spinning. And then from there, it's taken out Hendrickson. And those two are out of the race. And as if we follow Sammy J as he progresses out onto the AstroTurf, after that, the rear of the car steps out. And Vascalampi, who was about to take the win, has just been clobbered by his Finnish compatriot. They've interlocked wheels. And in behind that, you see Sebastian Schultz just taking the quiet, sedate racing line as we see Vascalampi grab the brakes so he doesn't spew across the track and take him out. And we see the three-plated car, Sebastian Schultz, just have the... Oh, don't tell me Sammy J's nearly hit Schultz's... He's come across the fronts of Schultz as well. What's he thinking?
I'm not sure there, Alex. That is definitely...
That's a brain explosion. He's had 3 brain explosions in the space of about 300 metres there. That's not Sammy J. Toykala under that helmet, surely, because that was crazy stuff. He's decimated the front 5 of this field, and I'm sure he won't be happy with that. I don't know what any curse words in Finnish, but I'm sure there's a few going on between him and Vascalampi, if nothing else. But that's crazy stuff to finish this race. But I tell you what, it made for a spectacular finish to our final round. And speaking of finishes, while we all catch our breath over that one, let's take a look at the final results. Sebastian Schultz up 6th position in what was the dominant strength of field of the week for round 12 here at Monza. Fantastic. I think that's his first win of the season. Congratulations to Sebastian Schultz, who showed that once again cooler heads prevail, and he held his while those around him lost theirs, so to speak. Sammy J. Toykala. Well, I don't know what to say about that one, Sammy. That's P2 nonetheless, and he has taken out his first Sunday Night Lights championship. Julian O'Fray coming from nowhere to grab 3rd step on the day. He was some 5-6 seconds behind at one stage, but that front 5 being decimated as they were has seen him grab a fantastic podium here tonight. Timo Vascalampi was hunting for his top step on the overall standings, only managing P4 after that last lap carnage. Ben Snell hung on for P5 after that early incident between him and Barber in the first chicane on lap 2, I think it was, for Team Milo, leading ANZ driver at the closing stages. Cristobal Otero Roman from across a Simart competition. I tell you what, has to be one of the unluckiest drivers out there. He was on for his maiden win. Really disappointed for Cristobal there through no fault of his own. A misjudgment from Sammy J really cost him there of any shot. Whether or not he would have got it with the draft is unknown, but still not the way you want to go out. Tim Hendrickson from Team Torpedo similarly taken out in that disastrous final parabolica. P8 to Daniel Cassis from Iberia, who hung on there for a top 10 finish. Chinmai Christo Punukolu in P9. I think I might have even got that one right. P10 to Russell Clark representing Team Milo, of course. Good top 10 result for Russell. Fran Novo Aeneas from Iberia. I had a chance to race with Fran during the week. P11 for him. P12 for Håkon Grebstad, representing Team Ovaltine. Not the race he was looking for, of course. Toshimasa Hanada in P13 out of SNL points. Great to see Toshi out on track again. Pep Meyer, I think it's only the first time we've seen Pep this season in P14. Greg Barber, after that incident with Snell in the first chicane, relegated to P15. Anthony Catt, who's been here for every race this season once again from UK&I, unfortunately relegated all the way down to P16. Kevin Henderson in 17th, and Mitchell McLeod representing Talk Inc. Our only 2 retirements for the evening. Strength of field was 4,077. A 2:14.3 for Roman here. Not the quickest lap you'll see around here as the fastest lap, but under the circumstances with the temperatures here tonight approaching 30 degrees on track, still lightning fast, Corey. Well, that was some end to the race. What did you make of all that, mate?
Well, I am actually still trying to make sense of it myself here, Alex, because I've never seen Sammy J drive with such reckless regard for just everything. And there might not have been much salt in the chat in the race server there, but I can definitely see there's some salt starting to grow in the Discord channel here.
Yeah, I imagine there would be a bit around, and tell you what, we've got a list of people in the green room. We'd better crack on with it. I'm just going to try and find who the highest order was. I think it was Mr. Vascalampi. So prepare your ears, folks. Remember, we're PG, Timu. I'm just saying. We're PG, mate. I'm just saying PG, parental guidance recommended. I'll tell you what, mate. That was a tragic end of the race. Tell me, how did it unfold for you?
Yeah, it was super fun race that fun. I mean, wow, it was very nice race. Dropped back at the start, touched Tim's rear, and somehow it broke his car. That was unfortunate. Then I was pushing really hard and worked together with, I think, Cristobal and Sebastian, and I was able to catch the guys ahead and then catch them and just waiting for the last lap and everything looked fine. Then Sami does some weird moves. I don't know where that guy came from. Not his style. I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed a bit
Maybe some
crazy there
maybe
at the
some
end there, mate. But yeah, I was just saying it seemed a bit crazy there at the end. Can I tell you, I was really impressed with the way you and Rahman led that pack to chase down Hendrickson. We know he's carrying a bit of rear damage. We can see it on screen at the moment. But the way you guys worked together and chased down Sammy J and Hendrickson was fantastic. Only to see it all unfold there at the end the way it did. Unfortunately, it means that you missed out on a chance at taking out the Sunday Night Lights season. You needed pole in the win and Toykala to finish out of the top five, which didn't play out here tonight. But I would suggest that with the points you got tonight and the rest of the season, you've probably taken out what I believe is your first official season championship. Is that right?
I don't know. It's very close with Sami actually. I think.
Yeah, okay. So it should be pretty close. So I think you got about 193 here tonight. He got 221. So we'll have to see how that washes out. But certainly a very consistent season for yourself there, Timu. We really appreciate you supporting the series the way you have. P2, I would suggest for Sunday Night Lights, and certainly first or second in the overall season championship. Fantastic season for yourself, mate. Congratulations. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go tonight?
You guys, of course, and the people who drive Skippy.
Awesome.
Normal.
Awesome. Thanks, Timo, mate. And congratulations once again, mate. You've had the wood on most of us going around in the skip all season, and congratulations once again on what's been a fantastic run.
Okay, bye.
There you go, Corey. That was a pretty disappointed team of Escalampy. One of his good mates, Sammy J, seemed to have a bit of a brain explosion there, or several. Maybe someone let off a grenade under his helmet. I don't know. But very disappointed sounding Timu there, who has, like I said, he's had a sensational season overall, and just a bit of an unfortunate way to end it.
Yeah, that's it, Alex. And Vascalampi always a man of few words, but he definitely had a lot to say tonight. You could just tell the disappointment was just all over his voice. It's sad to see him being that down, but at the end of the day, he can be very positive because he might have been taken out of this race, but he's still P2 overall, Alex.
Correct, you are. Now, moving on to those who finished a bit further down the order, we had Mr. Ben Snell in P5 here tonight. Ben, look, gifted a top 5 result in the end. Early incident between you and Greg Barber, mate, probably put pay to your hopes in this race. Tell us how it unfolded for you, mate.
Yeah, hey guys. I might have misjudged my speed through the second part of the first chicane and basically cleaned Greg up. Apologised to him after the race, of course, it was a stupid mistake that I shouldn't have made. I was just being too aggressive, unfortunately, and then unfortunately had a big netcode with Mitch McLeod straight afterwards, and ended his race as well. So pretty much killed everybody else from the ANZ to be number one tonight, right?
That's unfortunate. We had the three of you up there. We were hoping for a good run, and then it all came unstuck early. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the end of the race, mate, and how you got gifted the top five. Although you were running 6 anyway, so you really didn't pick up that much. I don't know if the guys caught you. We were so focused up the front, but I'll tell you what, you better go and have a look at the replay because it was interesting the way it unfolded, and I imagine there's a few unhappy campers down there, but Team Milo's own Ben Snell, you'd be unhappy, I guess, with the season overall, but you've plugged away, you've had good pace, and I'm hoping bigger and better things for you next season, mate.
Yeah, thanks. I think it's a combination of me not quite coming to grips with how the car drives this season, and the fact that we've moved to Sundays now, which means, one, I'm a little bit busier on Sundays than I am on Mondays, so I don't get quite the practice that I had before. And of course, the much stronger level of competition this season, which has been so much fun to drive with. Like, I'd rather come fifth or below every race and have the kind of racing that I have instead of having those kind of more not boring, but the less intense racing that we've been having.
Yeah, absolutely. The move to Sunday nights really helped us out with that attraction factor, and hopefully with the changes to the tyre model and the aerodynamics of the Skippy that we know are coming next week, we might build bigger and stronger next season as well, mate. So thank you once again for your support of the season and the series. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
I'll start off with, of course, Go Team Milo, but I'd like to thank you guys, especially for the move that you guys made to the Sundays, and obviously the issues we've had with YouTube and going to Twitch. Guys, keep plugging away, and you're doing a really good job. And I'd just like to say congratulations and thank you very much.
Thanks, Ben. Really appreciate it, mate. The support on and off the track. It's been a fun move for us, and we have had our bumps along the way, but we managed to get there. Oh, one thing I should say, make sure you check out Snellavision on
I'm a pro now. I'm a professional.
like Smell-O-Vision, but just like Snell.
Yeah, basically. Think of Smell-O-Vision and change the M for an N, and you're pretty much there.
That's it. Awesome. All right, thanks, Ben. Mate, bigger and better things next season. We look forward to seeing you then.
Yeah, I'll be here.
There you go, Corey. That was Team Milo's own Ben Snell. Disappointing finish for him, but certainly he'll be bigger and better next season, no doubt. I will bring up Mr. Hendrickson for Team Torpedo. Tim, great to see you back out on track, first of all, mate. I was surprised at how quick you were able to be, although you've had a bit of practice with a bent wing on the rear this week. So but then that last corner, mate, the parabolic, it all came unstuck, mate. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm really disappointed with the quality of driving this race. It was, I'm used to higher quality from many of these drivers, sadly. So yeah, from lap 1 T1, I had wing damage because Timu for some reason decided to rear end. Still not quite sure why he did that, because that could have been easily avoided. And after that, I still felt I had pace on Sammy, quite a bit of pace on Sammy in the twisty bits, but yeah, then the straights came along, and you just saw the pack behind catch up, and I really felt that too. As soon as I was in the pack with the rest of them, there's no way I was really keeping up even in draft. And yeah, then that ending, I don't know what Sammy was thinking. Was never gonna work. Yeah, I don't know. you should ask him himself, because I haven't got a clue.
Yeah, mate, I wondered if someone had set the grenade off under the helmet for the brain explosion. It's so unlike Sammy. He's so consistent, so fast. Look, maybe just got to him on the day. So that's unfortunate as it was. It was still, look, it was spectacular finish, if nothing else, and the racing in between was pretty spectacular as well. But listen, thank you once again. We've seen you for the last couple of weeks. It's been great representing Team Torpedo, of course. Let people know. I know you stream every now and then. Let people know where you can find out, and give anyone a shout out you'd like to, mate.
Every now and then I stream over at twitch.tv/Osmo. And then I'd really like to give a shout out to my team, Team Torpedo, for always supporting me. They've been really supportive in these last few minutes. And I was told to give a shout out to Tim Goldcrutcher. I don't know why I have to give a shout out to Tim, but he really wanted one, so here we are.
Very good. Top Split TV, sometime commentator Tim Goldcrutcher getting his name up there as usual. Very good. All right, thanks, Mr. Hendrickson. Mate, we look forward to seeing you in the coming season, hopefully with a rebranded and revamped Skippy.
Yep. See you later, guys.
There you go, Corey. That was Team Torpedo's Tim Hendrickson, of course. He's one of the quickest guys going around. On screen at the moment is his I rating of 6,500 odd. That's not hard or not easily earned, and certainly we know he's quick around these tracks and the skippies, mate.
Yeah, and Hendrickson has actually been trying to teach me a bit about getting around here. With his advice, it helped me get a win here this week, actually, my first one in the skippies. Go me. But yeah, Timmy's definitely a little bit disappointed with the move that was pulled there right at the end, but he still remains positive. You know, he's still got that massive I rating, and he doesn't do it with an ego, which is, you know, not very common among a lot of really high up there I rating drivers. A lot of them come with really big egos, especially when you start going to the oval side of things. So it's really good to see someone that has such an high I rating and is so down to earth and willing to help out the slower guys, Alex.
Yeah, very good. Great to see him out on track as well. Another man out on track here tonight was Mr. Håkon Grebstad, Team Ovaltine's own. Håkon, quality didn't seem to go too well, and by the looks of it, didn't get much better from there, mate.
No, I made a mistake on my second lap in qualifying, so it set me back to 13th. But yeah, I got a good start, got through the chicane all right, and I'm sure you saw what happened with Cristobal. I'm not very pleased with him, to say the least.
Yeah, look, unfortunate incident there, and not one that I don't think we actually caught it on screen. But you've had a bit of a rough trot here tonight, mate. Unfortunate for yourself, because I know you were vying for the overall season title as well, but not many points here on offer. I think you got less than 100, so might be it'll either be first, second, or third, I think, depending on how the Finns in and around you went. But a pretty good finish for the Scandinavians overall this season, mate.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good season finish for me. I would have liked, I had a chance to get up there with my start, because there was plenty of points on offer for this race. If Timu and Sammy had a bad race, I definitely could have won the season overall. But you know, out of turn, I made it up to P8, I think, out of the chicane, out of turn one.
Yeah.
And Cristobal just didn't let off. I had to slow down to avoid Cat spinning on the outside, and Cristobal accelerated right into me. It didn't let off and just turned me around, and that was it for me.
Yeah, it's a shame, mate. But hopefully next season brings a new Skippy and new opportunities, mate. But congratulations on your season, certainly in the official standings. It's been fantastic for you, and hopefully that'll continue next season. Anyone you'd like to give it a shout out to before we let you go, mate?
Well, I got to thank you guys for an amazing season and broadcasting every Sunday. And you know, moving it to Sunday was a great thing for me, and thankful for that.
Yeah, mate, of course. It's great to have everyone available now, get some good talent from overseas to support the local guys and give us a bit of a lesson at some stages too. So that's been fantastic, mate. So thanks again for your support, and we look forward to catching you again next season.
Yeah, thank you guys. See you around.
There you go, folks. That was Håkon Grebstad, one of the mainstays here, of course, on Sunday Night Lights. I'm going to go to Mr. Greg Barber now. Mr. Greg Barber in the booth, mate. What looked so good at the start there all came unstuck, unfortunately, in that first chicane on lap 2, I think it was, mate, and then it was all recovery drive from there.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah,
Nothing. Can't do it.
That's right. It's tough, you know. Like it was tight racing there, and then yeah. Look, that first chicane. It's so often you see it happen there. This week I've seen a lot of people be very careful through there and still come unstuck. And what do you do when the ANZ contingent, we're all up there, and then we tripped over ourselves and we end up Ah, it was an unfortunate finish, mate. I'm sorry to see your bad luck continue there. I'm hoping that things will turn around for you next season, yeah?
Yeah, I was just talking to John down in the green room and talking about the Divi 2 championship, which was a little bit down to the wire this week. But yeah, I'll probably go up to Divi 1 next season, so I won't have much of a chance up there with those boys, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, look, I think you might go all right. I mean, you're ahead of me this season on the officials, I think, and I think it came down to the wire with you, John Scholtz, and I think it was Anthony Jones from
Yeah.
UK and I think Scholty might have just pipped it. So, fantastic result either way to have a couple of you guys up there in amongst it, punching well above our weight, I'd suggest, in some circumstances. But then, as you say, you over the 3,500 mark, 3,600 odd at the moment. That'll put you in Div 1 next season, and it's just open slather from there, mate.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. Yeah, it was just disappointing tonight that I was running 13s in clean air in practice, and so I was up there with a chance tonight, and just doing my usual thing of hanging around sort of fourth or fifth would have probably got me across the line with the win tonight. Done a bit of a Bradbury, but I don't know. We'll pick up the pieces and come back in a couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Those points would have come in very handy, no doubt. But listen, congratulations on your return to the Skippies this season. We've really appreciated you coming and supporting the series. Hopefully, you'll be back next season. But until then, mate, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Just all the boys from C&T Racing. Bit of a group that we've formed over the last couple of months, and yeah, we'll come back stronger next season, I guess.
Awesome, thanks.
Thanks to you guys for putting it on every Sunday night. Do a great job.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. And as I said, we appreciate your support. And hopefully, like I said, we'll have you, the likes of yourself, Snell, Scholtz, punching right up there with the big boys next season as well. So, mate, until then, all the best, and we'll see you then.
Got you, mate. Tough.
There you go, Corey. One more to go, and I don't have him. I don't have his driver ID up here because he wasn't in the race. He was relegated to the second split, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. John Scholtz. John Scholtz here, I think newly crowned Division 2 champion, if I am not mistaken. Scholtzy, congratulations on the season. How did you end up in the second split tonight?
Cheers, mate. Second split was, say, forgettable. I spun on the first lap and then just had to follow guys and couldn't really catch them when I was on my own island. But yeah, otherwise came fourth, I think.
Yeah, nice, mate. Did you get the point? I think I had a look at the series standings before, and I had you taking out Division 2 by a few, and Greg Barber's result in the top split, unfortunately, took him out of contention there tonight. Otherwise, he might have pipped you because he was right up there.
Well, that's the thing. I had an eye on the top split race while I was trying to do my race because I was trying to see where Greg was going to end up. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think I got the championship by about 15 or 20 points. So yeah, that was my season goal. I'm pretty happy.
Awesome, mate. And I'm glad that we're able to be a part of it here at Sunday Night Lights, bringing out the big guns to help you get across the line, mate. Really glad to see that happen. Local boy done good, so to speak. Although he doesn't sound like a local boy, does he, folks? Anyway, he's adopted Aussie, if nothing else. So, Scholzy, mate, congratulations on a great season. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go, mate?
Yeah, cheers, boys. You guys especially. I mean, this race and the prelim race really brought me across the line. It's great, I need to get back into the top split next season because the second split doesn't really work for my ego. But then, yeah, the Venom boys as well, the Milo boys. I just might be sporting a Milo livery next season.
Uh-oh.
Just maybe.
Breaking news.
That year first.
Excellent. All right, thanks, Scholzy, mate. Look forward to seeing you next season.
Cheers. Have a good one, boys.
There you go, Corey. That's the end of a long night of interviews. A great season that we've had this year. Really pleased with the move we made to Sunday nights. It's brought out the biggest and best fields each and every week. Congratulations to the winners and losers and just everyone who supported the series, mate. It's been a great season, no doubt.
Yeah, and with the absence of all the really, really stupidly fast guys, we've had some amazing battles this season, and it's just been really good to see that the support for this strength of field skippy racing especially here in Oz and Z, with the international range that we've been getting now, with moving to the Sunday night, has just been so strong. Everyone's been so well receptive of the change of nights, and it's so amazing to see the support that we were getting, and the action that we've had on track all season has just been so amazing, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. The change to the Skip Barber has kept a few big names away. We've uncovered some new big names here with the top 5 in the official season all coming from the Sunday Night Lights Almada, or the cohort that we get here regularly on a Sunday night. Once again, proving that this is the platform and the place to be for top flight Skip Barber action. Thank you to everyone for their support this season. We have really and genuinely appreciated it. We will be back bigger and better next season, all going to plan. If I could just find the right camera angle. On your screen, you've got all the places you can find everything Top Split. Of course, this race will be broadcast or put back up on the Top Split YouTube channel. The podcast is at thetopsplit.com. Corey, tell the folks at home where they can find you.
You guys can find me at twitch.tv/Corey Has No Life 13. We will put up a explicit notice. I do mature content, at least in the language department, not so PG and broadcast friendly. But you can find me there, where I'm just going to be doing a lot of different content, especially in the upcoming months. With the introduction of maybe some Formula One gaming, Alex.
Yeah, awesome. So good to hear. Explicit content warning, of course, for Corey. He's not PG like we are over here. The Discord channel, check that out as well. That's where we do our broadcast from and all the post-race interviews. Corey and I will be doing a post-season recap or review on the podcast this week at some stage. Keep an eye out for that at thetopsplit.com, also on iTunes and all your favourite podcatchers. But that, folks, is about all we have for season 16 or season 1 of Sunday Night Lights, depending on how you look at it. Thank you once again to everyone for their support. We do genuinely appreciate it and look forward to being back bigger and better next season. I've been your host, Alex McKellar, and on behalf of my co-host, the chaotic one himself, Corey Steinhauser, I will say farewell, good evening, and ciao for now.